was a communication problem. They expected a lot of work that they didn't tell me about, that we were all supposed to write about a section. And I had never been on a committee that expected me to write. All I knew going in was that I was expected to possibly write a patient summary.
To me, the most important thing in getting consumers involved on an equal playing field with guideline development is having a culture that values and supports their engagement and makes it clear from the start that such engagement is mandatory for the guideline and necessary for the right outcome.
And they had a very narrow, in my opinion, definition of patient-centered. And they kept using it every other paragraph, it seemed. And as if, if you say it often enough, it will be the best way of looking at things. And yet I felt that they were only giving us things that doctors care about.
I think the last thing you want to be is the token consumer on a panel that just simply wants a consumer to say they had one, but really doesn't value your input or encourage it.
And I remember saying, where is the urgency in what we're doing? These are softball issues that we're reacting to, in my opinion, now that I see how acute the situation is.
You may want to ask if they have any explicit materials that say how the consumers are going to participate, what's their role, what's the process going to be. So I think a little due diligence before you find yourself in an unfortunate situation where you wished you hadn't have, agreed to participate.
It is very important to have consumers engaged and being interactive. We have had guideline panels where consumers sat there without saying anything through the whole process. And it was really not harmful, but it wasn't helpful either, right?
So I felt like the time to object was now, when we're about to go write something that I couldn't get behind.
We try to get 2 consumers. I think you need at least 2. You really shouldn't go below 2.
It's important when you involve consumers to have a critical mass. A critical mass means more than 1. And I recommend 3 or 4, but at least 2 consumers.
You sometimes get a dud, and you get a dud as far as a clinician or a consumer. Sometimes people don't rise above their own personal biases and preferences or intellectual biases or personal experience with the disease, and that can be a problem. So you want to know you have at least a chance of balance there. And if for some reason someone can't make a call, can't make a meeting, can't participate for some unexpected reason, you'd like to know that at least somebody's going to be there representing that viewpoint.